You see? Now, it's very specific when it talks about our. That's a plural. Some people will tell you that Elohim is the plural of Elo, meaning more than one God. Now, Elohim, yes, it is true that Elohim are plural, but that's not what the meaning of Elohim is. The meaning of Elohim is literally translated as he who came from the stars or from the skies, or they who came from the stars, or they who came from the skies. You see? So now, literal translation, in the beginning, it's Elo or El, or Elohim, created heaven and the earth. Right? Are you with me? So the word God, because we have to make this point, because later on you'll see other things that says Lord God. And in order for you to make a clear understanding as to why they just put God straight throughout the Bible, and why they insert certain places Lord God and Lord, you see? Those languages are there in the translations, but those words weren't there when they were originally written. You see? Lord God literally was put there to replace what they would call Yahweh. Yahweh God. You see? You're going to find out, instead of saying Yahweh, they put the word Lord God. You see? Now, we didn't get to Yahweh yet. We're in Genesis 1. Yahweh is not even on the scene. In Genesis 1, the earth, verse 2, the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. You see that? Waters. The Spirit of God moved upon the waters. Now, what is he talking about? The Spirit of God moved upon the waters. Waters ain't created yet. Right? When did water and all of that stuff come on the scene? When did that come on the scene? The waters didn't come on the scene until the third day. So the waters that was created on the third day would have to be different waters than these waters here. You see, my brothers and sisters? It's a different waters. But now, if you look into the Hebrew tells you they don't use the word void and darkness was upon the face of the deep. They have the literal word that they have there is, I have it here, is tohu bo vohu. Tohu bo vohu. Right? Now, tohu bo vohu is the Hebrew, which basically means was made void, or was made desolate, or was made a waste. Tohu bo vohu means was made a waste, or laid to waste, which denotes, according to the Hebrew, that there was a destruction prior to the creation. In order for you to have a beginning, my brothers and sisters, you have to have an ending. Something has to be ending in order for you to be having a beginning. With every ending comes a beginning. With every beginning comes an ending. That's how it calls a beginning. Now, why would you say that there was a destruction based off of tohu bovohu? Right? Now, I'm going to show you later on when it tells you, in verse 26 or later on, it says, when God made man in his image and told him to be fruitful, multiply, and what? Replenish the earth. Replenish. Now, when you talk about replenish signifies to put back or replace that which was taken away. So what we find out through these scriptures, just through the first verse 1 and 2, that there was a massive destruction going on in the creation. You see? And the Spirit of God moved upon the waters. Now we're talking about the Spirit of God. Remember, we're talking about the Elohim. The Elohim. Now here's another translation. Verse 1. When God set about to create heaven and earth, the world being then a formless waste, with darkness over the seas, and only an awesome wind sweeping over the water, God said, let there be light. You see, now how they write a little bit different in this translation here, but it's very significant because it's still keeping it in the context with a major theme. You see, and that is the creation of the beginning after something. And we'll see it a little bit more clear right now if you don't even see it. Now remember, I was talking about these waters, right? About these waters that was on the face of the deep. Now when it's talking about, we're going to skip over the waters for one moment, just for a second. We're going to get back to those waters. We go into verse 3. And God said, or not God, but who? Elohim. God doesn't, the word God don't have no power to it. You see? It really don't have no power to it because you don't know who you're talking about. Which God you're talking about. You see what I'm saying? God has a very specific name. When you're dealing with gods and gods, or gods, there are many gods. Everywhere you go, you're going to find gods. But the God of Genesis chapter 1 is specifically called Elohim. We have to get that clear. Because it's very important to what's with the rest of this reasoning here. Usually when we just read the Bible or Genesis, whatever, we just run through it. We just don't really look into it and see the roots of where it's really coming from. Now, verse 3, and God said, or the Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. Now, when we see that, or when we hear that, what does the first thing come to your mind? The sun, right? The sun. But which day are we in? So-called, well, we are in the last day of their world, but as it relates to Genesis, you see? The first day, right? Now, if you look into the fourth day, it says, verse 14, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule by day and the lesser light to rule by night.
That's the sun and the moon.
So what is that?
That's the sun and the moon then. So what's the first light?
So that's the sun, right? Sun is in 14. So when it says let there be light, it couldn't be talking about the sun, because the sun wasn't even created yet until, according to the Bible anyway, until the fourth day. Is it the fourth day? Is it the fourth day? Okay, let's get a little clarity on that day part. Now, the original word in the Hebrew or the Syriac was not the word D-A-Y. You see, D-A-Y. Now, when we say D-A-Y, we, in our minds,